Hello, hello. How is everyone? I'm going to turn up my volume a little bit. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is our burning bowl and our clean slate, sometimes thought of as a white stone ceremony. So it's 2021 release and 2022 new, fresh vision, choosing anew. So this is Spiritual Center for Conscious Living. Generally, we have Spencer and Lori with us who introduce and kind of get us all warmed up. So I actually am recording this with a very small group. So Lori is actually here with us, and also a member and dear friend, Lucy Ann is here. So we're recording it live. We didn't want to have a gathering because we just felt like it's not the best idea at this time with all the events going on, all the issues that everyone is dealing with still. It won't be this way forever, but it's what we're dealing with right now. So we're keeping the groups very small, doing our effort to have, spacing and good hygiene so that we can all enjoy more freedom in the coming year. And I encourage you to continue doing that as well. Listen to your guidance and do as you are led for your own health and well-being, as well as everyone that's in your environment. So here we are. It's the beginning, it's the ending of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. Please join me in taking a breath and getting very grounded as we proceed. Take a deep breath, please. Exhale a sound. Ooh. Let yourself begin to open from your heart. Let yourself begin to just clear your mind. Let everything just release. Let go of any concerns. Be fully present. If you haven't read about this event and read the instructions to have what you need to prepare, there's a Facebook post. If you're on our email list, you got email from me describing it. Please pause and do that now to gather the materials you will need so that when you're in the flow of the ceremony, the two ceremonies, there's actually 3 steps to it. When you're in the flow with us, you won't be distracted gathering things. You might want to have a candle lit. You'll see that in the instructions. Maybe some incense, or maybe just some nice flowers or a pleasant view in nature, pleasant space in your home. Take another breath, please. Release. Oh. We are releasing. We are releasing. We are releasing. I want to explain what it means to release. It is not to give up. It is not to stop having a desire. It is not to give up your power. It is not to stop choosing to be a sovereign being who has self-mastery in your energy field. Your energy field being not just your physical body, much more than that. Also your emotional field, your mental field, and your spiritual field, which goes out much further, of course. We're not giving up anything in the releasing. We're releasing into the wholeness of who we are, the divine self we are. We're releasing into oneness with the divine, the light of the one, the light of the world, the life force in all. You may think of this as God. I like to say God force to understand this is not a personality. This is an essence. God force, pure source energy, the power that creates worlds. When we release everything that is interfering with our experiencing the beauty and wisdom and true power, peaceful power, absolute power and presence of the divine. Because we are created in that image. We are created as that essence in expression, uniquely, as an individuated energy being, spiritual being, divine being, being of light, having a human experience, and it is meant to be glorious. We're going to talk about, as we begin our release stage, we're going to talk about why is it not always glorious and how to manage that better. Let's take another deep breath, please. I invite you to consider this idea. What if everything that happens in your life experience, every moment of life experience for you, for each of us, what if it is divinely perfect for the experience you need to show you the energy you are choosing to be in this life, in that moment, and in the moments leading up to that experience, what you have been choosing that you might not know you were choosing. All of us, each of us, me too. What if even the most painful, surprisingly chaotic things you think you would never intentionally choose, what if it was the exact perfect match to the energy, frequency, the consciousness of beliefs and mindsets and attitudes and borrowed ideas of your identity, not your true identity, borrowed ideas put on you by others, ideas you've chosen by observing others, listening to others. What if every moment, and I've had some painful ones too, and what if every one of those, all the beautiful ones, majestic ones, glorious ones, all the sad ones, all the frightening ones and painful ones, even traumatic ones, were necessary for you to see what you've been aligning with and allowing as your identity, your I am presence, for the purpose of showing you that, so that you may then choose differently, higher. What if that's true? Take a breath, please. What if you could embrace that without judgment, without condemnation? What if? Take a breath, please. Can you imagine the freedom that gives you? What if you stopped condemning yourself for mistakes? What you call mistakes? What if, and by mistakes, I mean these experiences that are a part of your creation experience, blending your spiritual being with your human being, and it doesn't turn out the way you wanted it to, the way you expected it to, the way you desire your life to be. And what if you quit condemning yourself for that? And what if you said instead, like a little child, opening a gift, wow, this is where I am. This is who I thought I was, and that's why I'm experiencing this. Oh boy, yippee, now I get to create anew. I couldn't create anew until I realized that, until I had that gift of awareness. Now that I have that gift of awareness, I can create anew. Take a deep breath, please. And now, I want you to take the small piece of paper that you had planned. If you have it ready, I hope you do. If you want it to be small enough to burn easily. It doesn't have to be smaller than the other papers you're using, but I want only one sheet, okay? Because you want to burn it without any risk of creating a fire. So take that out, get it ready. Take your pen or pencil, whatever you want to write with. Hold it in your hand. And just be still. Be still as I ask you these questions. This is not an intellectual exercise. When I say be still, I mean still your mind. Tell that beautiful, brilliant brain of yours to be quiet for a moment, to listen rather than speaking, rather than being in the hamster wheel chasing something. Be still. Take your pen in your hand, hold it, don't write yet. Have your one sheet of paper ready. And feel into your heart. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Do not answer with your brain. That brain is beautiful. That's not what it's here to serve you with. These are feeling questions. Take a breath. So the first question I want to ask you is this. In this past year, 2021, what feelings have been painful to you personally? This is not about anyone but you. This is not about the world. If it's personally painful for you because of something that's happened in the world, that's true for you. What feelings have been painful for you in this past year? As it comes to you, write it down, a word or two or three. Do not write sentences and paragraphs. Next question. What burdens have you been carrying this past year? What burdens have you been carrying? Feeling, not your brain, your heart. What has felt like a burden this past year? Acknowledging that you chose to carry it. No one put it on you. You may have accepted it from someone, but you are a sovereign being. You chose to carry it. Just write a word or two or three. This is not sentences. Don't get your brain engaged. Next question. I want you to think about the energy dynamics you've been participating in. I want to explain that in case that's a new idea for you. Or perhaps you've heard it, but maybe don't fully understand it. I invite you to open to a new understanding. An energy dynamic is every form of relationship. At this moment, we are sharing an energy dynamic. You and me. In every moment, you have an energy dynamic between yourself and the divine. Your divine self is that center point that connects and translates for you. It translates as feeling, something you sense. It will sometimes come in as words, but it's not intellectualizing. It's a total visceral feeling, sense of guidance. You have energy dynamics with every living being in your energy field in any given moment, known to you and unknown to you. Little creatures you don't notice around you if you're in nature especially, even the living sentient beings that are the plants and the trees and earth itself, every person known to you and unknown to you, when you go to the market, every person that passes through your energy field, you're having an energy dynamic with that. Are you holding your own energy? Or are you becoming a match to everyone else's energy because you're not consciously choosing self-mastery and sovereignty, sacred sovereignty, benevolent sovereignty? So here's the question again. What energy dynamics did you participate in this past year, knowingly or unknowingly, that you want to release and not continue? It doesn't mean a person leaves your life. It means the energy dynamic you've been experiencing with that person is what you want to let go of. And we will go to when we get to the next phase of creating the new vision, which is the third phase of today's ceremony, we will create the new vision. But for now, you cannot create a new until you understand what you are currently experiencing and you make peace with it so that you can just let it be. It served you and it served everyone involved in it. Otherwise, it would not have happened. And it served you in ways beyond this, but the most immediate and most important to be aware of is it served you to be a mirror of who you have identified yourself to be, true or not, the identity you have chosen, how you express yourself in the world with your energy and your beliefs, which makes up your consciousness and creates an energy field. And every experience and every rendezvous, that beautiful flow of energy dynamic is showing you this is who you believe you are. This is what you believe is your divine birthright to experience, good or bad, feeling good, not feeling good. Okay, have you written down the dynamic? You don't even have to use, you can just use a word. It doesn't have to be people. Just be very clear about it. Now here's the part that's most important for your release. And I'm going to describe this one, and then I'm going to ask you to take a little time and sit with it and be with it before you write. This is not an intellectual question. Make sure you're in your heart. Take a breath. Open your energy field to pure source, only to pure source. What consciousness has been your dominant state of being in this past year? Your dominant state, your most frequent, your go-to frequency. It's like your neural pathway. The go-to, is it stressful? Is it peaceful? Is it joyful, abundant, aliveness, vitality? Is it beautiful, bountiful, glorious feeling? Is it frightening? Is it reactionary, panic feeling, anxiety feeling? Is it empowered? Is it vulnerable, frail feeling, weak feeling, confusing, overwhelming? Or is it clarity, certainty, knowing your I am is one with the divine, not that your I am is one with chaos in the world, heartache in others, hardship, not because we don't have awareness of them, but we don't want to identify those energies as the truth of us. Those are experiences that have been created by self and others. They're not the truth of who we are. Now that you understand that, take a moment and write down Whatever consciousness has been less than you choose to experience, release it, write it down. Just use a word. It's an emotional state. Use a word to describe it: fear, anxiety, limitation, overwhelm, control, being controlled or trying to control others, domination, perhaps more extreme. Maybe you pull energy from others. You've been depleting others, or you've been letting others deplete you. What consciousness has been too prevalent that is not an actual conscious choice that you're ready now to shift today during this ceremony? Okay. Take one more breath, please. I'm going to pause the recording, and I invite you then to light the candle you have by whatever bowl. If you have a bowl, a metal bowl, or if you have a fire pit or a fireplace, if you haven't lit that, we'll do that during the pause. And you'll take this one slip with these little ideas. The words are not as important as the energy that was in what you wrote. We're going to go out to the burning bowl, and it's important that if you have a fire pit or a fireplace, you can put the paper directly into it. Make sure it's safely in there, it doesn't fall back out. If you are using a bowl of some outside, which is what we're going to do, you want to light a candle first and then light your paper from that. So you're not putting your hand down into something that's going to have fire in it. And then carefully put it in the bowl and stay with it until it completely burns. Part of that is safety, and part of that is letting yourself visually see and experience that it is burning, it is releasing. It is releasing into the cosmos to be transmuted back to pure source energy. We're not sending it out to any person. It is not any harmful. This is not some kind of voodoo thing where you were mad and you put that person or that experience. It's not what it is. That is not conscious. That is not high consciousness. That is not sacred. That is not how we do things here. So please do not take the ceremony and twist it in that way, because I promise you it will cause you a lot more negative experiences if you do that. You don't want to send that out. You just want to release into source. Just release into source and let it be transmuted for you. It will dissipate from your physicalness, your emotional field, your mental field, your spirituality, your spiritual beingness. Because we want to get back to a pure state. And when we come back, we will go to the second phase, which is begin to create the clean slate. And we'll go through a process to begin that. There's 2 more steps when we come back. All right. Thank you for being with us. I'm going to pause and we'll return. All right, welcome back. This is the second phase of our ceremony today. So at this point, you would have just completed the burning bowl where you released old consciousness that was limiting you. It's an identity you had embraced, which is not the true identity, your fullest whole identity. So now we're going to establish clearly what you choose as your new identity. The absolute truth of your being is that you are an expression of the divine, a very unique, individuated expression of divine energy. You might think of that as your personality. I'd like you to learn to think of it as your divine self, because personality sometimes becomes something that we adopt to fit in the world. And I want you to have a different view of the true self you are, and then choose from that true self how you will express yourself in the world, which includes your personality, but is much more than that. And also to know that you create your personality. Your divine self creates your personality. It's not something you can't help. Oh, I can't help it. That's just who I am. It's totally not true. You choose in every moment and in every facet of your life who you will be. And you can align with your divine truth of your being and then express it uniquely. Or if you don't do that, what happens is you just go about being what others tell you you are. Even if you don't realize it, you become this sponge that soaks it up. And it creates a lot of painful experiences. And the most important aspect of the painful experiences is the lack of fulfillment, the lack of satisfying, meaningful fulfillment in your life, which brings joy and purpose and constant, ever expanding, evolving newness, moreness. So now I want you to take your paper. You may have several sheets. You may have one big sheet. And we're going to write 2 statements at the top of it, and then we're going to do a process together. So the first statement I would like you to write is, I now release my belief that I was bound to any and all limitations. I'll say that again for you. I now release my belief that I was bound to any and all limitation. Now, second statement. I now trust my divine essence. And I choose consciously in every moment. Always and in all ways. I'm going to repeat that for you. I now trust my divine essence, and I choose consciously in every moment, always, and in all ways. Okay, so now we're going to do a process where I'm going to ask you more questions to help you create a space to receive guidance, wisdom, enlightenment from your divine self, to you. It flows from the divine to your divine self to you. In years past and in other places that I've been, there's a practice of writing a letter to God. This is a different way of doing it. I invite you to open to this as something you might not have done before, because we don't want to besiege God as this person, like this authority official or parental figure. We want to give up that consciousness about God force, about the power that creates worlds. It is so much beyond that. It is so much pure love, much more than that old paradigm can allow us to embrace and align with, and then embody in our life experiences. We are a droplet of that beautiful energy flow that is pure source. It's in motion, it's fluid, it's flowing, it's ever expanding. And we're meant to receive it, and we're meant to know it as the truth of our identity, the absolute core of us. And then embrace this amazing gift of individuation in how we express it, and use it for good. And when we are aligned with it, we would never not use it for good. We couldn't, because in alignment with pure source, there would be no harm done to self or others. It could not be. It would be impossible. So here are a few questions. I suggest you focus on them for a moment. I want this to be a heart, mind, and grounded in your body focus, which is a soft focus with an open, powerful receiving. So you're receiving pure energy that is the light of the one. And then you're letting it come through you to you with a soft focus for how you will flow that energy. And this is how you will create your vision. When we complete this phase, we will go to the final phase where we have the stone or shell or whatever else you might have chosen. And by then you'll have received very clearly a word or a mantra that will be your focus for the rest of 2022. First question is this: what feeling do I choose now for my experiences in 2022? What feeling? There can be more than one, but choose at least one and keep it down to a few so that you're staying very clear. You feel free to write this on your letter, and then we'll just keep writing. It's like a little journaling. What feeling? Let your divine self lead you. What feeling? Because this feeling is your frequency. Let me give you some examples. Do you want to experience easefulness? Do you want to experience clarity? Do you want to experience joy? Do you want to experience bountiful, beautiful moments? Awareness. Do you want to experience more awareness of the beauty that is always around you? Do you want to experience more awareness of the beauty that is you, within you, your true self, your divine self? Do you want to experience the feeling of awareness, the feeling of clarity, the feeling of joy, the feeling of just prolific awareness and beauty and bounty? And do you want to experience the absolute deliciousness of such sacred and whole and fulfilling connection? Those energy dynamics, to feel like that with others and with yourself and with all of life. What feeling do I choose now for 2022? Take a breath, please. Next question. Making sure you're aligned, heart, mind, and body, grounded, very grounded, blending your spiritual self and your human self now, and listening to your divine self. What does freedom and joy feel like for me? What does freedom and joy feel like for me? Not look like. You can see what it looks like. It doesn't hurt you to see that, of course. But if you don't feel it as you see it, then it stays outside of you, always out of reach. Like a movie that happens to someone else, but not you. You must feel it. You must feel it viscerally. What does freedom and joy feel like for me? Take a breath. Now, another question. What high vibrational, high frequency, high consciousness, energy dynamics do I choose to experience in 2022? By choosing them, by choosing to experience in them, you are now saying to all that is, that you want to be supported in the creation of it, but you must choose it first. What high vibrational, high consciousness, high frequency energy dynamics do I choose to experience in 2022? These will be with yourself, small s, and yourself, divine self, between you and the divine. This will be between you and loved ones. This will be between you and projects, creation experiences. They can be work-related, personal projects, some of both. You and your home environment. You and Mother Earth and all of nature. You and all living beings on the beautiful planet. You may never meet them in terms of physicality, but that we are all living in the energy field of Mother Earth. So that is a beautiful, huge collective consciousness that we participate in. What energy dynamic do you want to experience in these collective consciousnesses that I just described? Will it be an energy dynamic of clarity, honor, sacredness, beauty, truth, love, joy, peace, harmony, connectedness that uplifts and empowers, does not see victimness, has great kindness, benevolence toward anyone who is not connected and experiencing high vibrational experiences. And in your sacred alignment, then you have enough of other high energies that will uplift others who need that upliftment, that will help them feel the connection simply because it's so prevalent in you and it's prevalent as you. It's who you are, it's who you be, and others around you receive it without you having to do anything and without them having to do anything other than simple willingness. Last question. And this will help you begin to create the word or the mantra that you will write on the stone or the shell or whatever object you've chosen to keep as a touchstone, a memory, a reminder of who you are choosing to be. This goes toward your consciousness. What new frequency, what new consciousness, what new energy choice do I now choose as my predominant expression, which will then become my predominant experience in 2022? What new consciousness, what new frequency, high vibrational energy field do I choose as my predominant expression, which will then become my predominant experience in all aspects of my life in 2022? One word is ideal, but you can have 2 or 3 if that helps. It's not a statement. It will be used in an I am statement, but in this moment, it's a clear, simple focus. Now I'm going to pause again to allow you time to write answers to these questions, and then open and let your divine self tell you anything else about this new year. But don't go to that until you've answered these questions and chosen your consciousness, and then let your divine self expand on that for you as a letter that is a message from the divine, guiding you as your divine self to support you in your human experience in this coming year. We'll come back in a few minutes. I suggest you take about 5 to 10 minutes to complete this process. And then when you're ready, you can come back and we'll continue the video. Thank you. Welcome back. All right, so you have just written this letter from your divine self to you, your glorious, wonderful human self. And this is a message from the divine coming through your divine self for you as guidance, support, encouragement, wisdom. If you have an envelope, then I would suggest now you write your name on the outside of the envelope. You might want to go ahead and put 2022 under your name or somewhere on the envelope, just so you'll know when you see it later. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hold this letter, go ahead and put it in the envelope. If you don't have an envelope, you can just fold it, put your name on the outside of the paper. So fold it and now put it in the envelope, or just fold it in your hand. We're going to take the envelope. If you have an envelope, seal it. Now hold the envelope. So we're using gold envelopes here. You can see I've written my name and the year. hold it in your hand. We're going to bless it, and we're going to receive it. We're going to actually do what I would call an energy activation to help it now become light made manifest for you in your life. Hold it between your palms. There's powerful chakras open to the light of the one, the divine, God force, pure source, the power that creates worlds, spirit, the universe, whatever words you use that help you most clearly and fully resonate with the sacred essence, the sacred energy and power that is divine power and presence, that is life force. We want to now activate the wisdom given to you, the choices you made in answering the questions, and the wisdom given to you in the letter that you wrote or journaling that came to you from your divine self. I ask you now to make sure you are open fully in your energy field to the best of your ability. Your heart is not blocked. Open it between you and source, not between you and me, between you and source. Open your heart. Have a soft focus in your mind, your third eye. Make sure you're grounded all through your body. Spiritual being blended as a physical being. And now, choose, commit with conviction. I now receive this energy frequency as my new, predominant, consistent energy, expression, and experience for my life in this new year. I allow it, I claim it, I receive it. I let it be done for me, with me, through me, as me. Feel it. Feel it as the truth of who you are. Feel it as your new identity. Feel it. Claim it. Allow it. Take a breath. And we give thanks to blessed, benevolent, beloved source. We give thanks for this beautiful gift of life. And so it is. And now the third part. So you have selected, or you may have some in front of you to choose from. Select what you are now drawn to. A stone that is easy to write on, or a shell, or anything else you've chosen. It may be a lovely slip of paper or a lovely card of some kind. Choose it. Choose the color of whatever the pen will be. If you haven't already done that, some of you may have done that in advance. Choose it now. Take it in your hand. Again, we're going to begin activating it before we write on it. When I say activate it, we're imbuing the energy that we wish it to hold for us, to remind us when we see it, to help spark it again in us if we've let it fade a little bit. Now, hold it. What is the word that comes to you? The word or a phrase, very, very short, pure and simple. Let it come to you. Keep breathing, stay open, keep your field open, keep your mind softly focused for guidance coming through your heart energy space, from your divine self. And when you're ready, take just a minute or two, not too long. When you're ready, write it. I'm going to pause for just a moment. Okay, so now we're back. And by now you should have your beautiful new stone with the mantra that you will use in the new year. Open and feel it and let it be. This is your new identity, your choice of what your I am presence will represent. Your I am presence is your reflection, your individually chosen expression of divine presence and power, expressing through you, expressing as you, always creating with you, for you. Yes. Keep your stone somewhere where you can see it. You can keep it in a space that's private if you choose, if you live in a household with other people, or you can have it out. Do what feels right for you. Do not feel that you must put it out for others to see. Don't do that if it doesn't feel right for you. You want it where it supports you. The stone has no power. The stone is a symbol. And it is imbued with the energy that you felt as you chose this word or phrase. And the reminder of it, the visual of it, will help bring you back to it. And I want you to use it every day this coming year. I encourage you strongly to do that. And I ask you to commit to it right now. I commit that this will be my predominant consciousness, my predominant energy frequency, my predominant vibrational experience and expression as my I am presence, the divine power and presence flowing to me, through me, expressing as me in the world uniquely, beautifully, powerfully, loved and supported and guided in ways that will always be sacred self-love and sacred honor for all. And there we are. I welcome any comments. You feel free to share the mantra, the word, if you choose. You do not have to. If you would like to, we would love to hear it. If you don't want to share it, just say something instead. If you'd like to put a comment, and let's just say that you received your word, you received your mantra, and you made your commitment. And I will come through and bless every comment as they come in the next few weeks. You may re-listen if you need. I just encourage you to not go back and re-listen for the purpose of improving, because what you received initially was pure and powerful and divinely perfect for you at this time. You are a beautiful being of light. I bless you. And I encourage you to receive this blessing, that you may go forth in this amazing new year with the radiance that is the truth of your being, your divine essence, unrestricted, unbound, unencumbered, with unabashed joy. Thank you for being with us. Please share this video with anyone who you believe would enjoy this experience. Much love to you. We will be back live with you on the second Sunday in January, the 9th, for our new monthly series for January. We'll be focusing on how to bring wonder back into your life as a prevalent experience and perspective for creation. See you soon. Happy New Year.